Can you compare yourself today to your prime? If you had to do a PST, how would your numbers compare then and now?
My younger self would need less time to prep for it.
I mean, there's a lot of things that we don't do anymore, but it's kind of like, well, it's not as useful now.
Pull-ups, push-ups, and sit-ups, which, no factor.
My numbers would be pretty close to, aside from a few things.
Mm-hmm.
The running stuff, I'm out.
In jiu-jitsu, in case anyone's wondering, I would kick my ass. Total destruction. This is the Jocko Underground Podcast, number 163, sitting here with Echo Charles, getting ready to provide some courses of action for various scenarios presented and also answer some questions. So let's get into it.
It's true. Yeah, the principles of a lot of these questions, like if you take the principle of it, you can apply it to like your own scenario.
Of course.
That's kind of the deal.
Of course.
See what I'm saying? That's what I'm doing.
It's like, good functional use.
Because let's face it, a lot of these questions, they don't directly apply one-to-one to me, but kind of the fundamental principle a lot of the time, I'm like, that's good.
You get to hear it from a different angle, little reinforcement.
100%. Yeah.
Check.
All right, first question. I'm currently a firefighter, turning 30 this year. I'm lucky enough to be in a very physically demanding specialty, surrounded by guys who are in great shape. I'm the oldest one in my rank, but have no issue keeping up and leading our PT sessions. My question is this. Can you compare yourself today to your 20 to 25-year-old prime? If you had to do a PST, how would your times and numbers compare then and now? Obviously, work output variables are impacted by age, but how have you been able to keep performance high through aging? Thanks for all the lessons you've imparted. You guys impact so many lives.
Well, first, thanks for your service as a firefighter. That's awesome. It sounds like you're getting after it still after a long time. Turning 30 this year. Oh, maybe not that long of a time. So PST, which is a physical screening test, and we used to take PSTs, and I went through a couple different iterations of PSTs when I first joined the Danes back in the day. We actually took the Navy, like the regular Navy PST, which was very easy for us. And then then there was a couple different iterations that I did over the years. And they were all, it's too many to remember. Let me put it that way. But that being, and to remember what the specifics, the standards were, I definitely can't remember. But this much I do know, that if I had to take a PST, I would train for it. And I would be kind of like in the same ballpark as I was then. My younger self would need less time to prep for it. But the main reason is because running and swimming. Because swimming was part of the PST. It was part of the SEAL PST. It wasn't part of the Navy PST, but the SEAL PST was swimming. You had swimming. So, and surfing and swimming are not the same thing. They're similar. But it's even more differentiated in the SEAL teams because swimming in the SEAL teams is with fins. So you have fins on. And so it's very different than surfing muscles because it's more leg muscles, and finning is different than running. You're not like, oh, I'm a good runner so I can fin. No, It doesn't work like that. No. So it would take me some time to get back in the game for those two things. And the rest of them were like pull-ups, push-ups, and sit-ups, which no factor. So I think it would be somewhat similar. In jiu-jitsu, just FYI, in case anyone's wondering, I would kick my ass. When I was 20 to 25 years old, I would just annihilate my 20 to 25-year-old self. Total destruction. But, for the spirit of the question here, I would say the biggest deficit between being 20, and by the way, 20 to 25, I don't think is prime. Is that prime for you?
For what?
For like physical strength, agility. I guess, what was the oldest you played college football?
20 or 21.
Yeah, so you weren't in your prime at 20 or 21.
They say, prime is, it depends because from what I understand, like if you have like what's called muscle maturity, they say about between 30 and 32 is kind of the prime. For muscle, just muscle. Like I think it's like strength and size or whatever. But athleticism, I don't know, Brad. Feels like a 21, 22, 23, 24. years old scenario, maybe even 25. After that, from what I understand, I don't know, but I was doing a lot of different or much different things after the age of 21.
Yeah. The biggest deficit I would say like would be the dynamic lifts, right? Like big cleans, big snatches, big clean and jerks. And there's also another deficit, which is when I was growing up, we didn't do those. Like in high school, we didn't do, like every kid now does cleans and snatches and clean and jerks. Like that's every kid now. Every kid Olympic lifts now. When I was a kid in the 80s and the 70s, we didn't do that. So I don't have the really good muscle memory. You know how if you did something when you were a kid, you can just do it forever?
Yeah.
I don't have that. And so then, and as you get older, you're like, well, do I really need to max out? Or do I really even need to go max weight for a clean and you start saying, what's the risk versus reward? Now listen, lift heavy for sure, but you're not going to lift as heavy because the risk versus reward doesn't make sense. Yeah. So that stuff would be the biggest deficit for me. But the running, swimming, pull-up, push-ups, I think I'd be fine. The other thing, so I have the biggest thing I've noticed about getting older, and we've talked about this before, is I need more warm-up now. Yeah. I used to go to jiu-jitsu and just get on the mat and start training. Yeah. Slap hands. I wouldn't even jog around the mat one time.
Right.
I would walk out, slap hands with Dean Lister, and start fighting him. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And now I need like 1 5-minute round of movement and rolling, and then halfway through, I'll go live my second round, but I'm still like not quite there. Yeah. And then in the middle of my third round, I feel good. Mm-hmm. And then between 3 and 8 rounds, I'm like, that's where my kind of optimum. Then you're getting tired or whatever.
Right.
So that's that. I definitely need more warm up in that. My shoulders are less mobile than they used to be, and I work on it. You know, I stretch every day. I even insert stretches, like some very specific shoulder stretches, into my workouts. Mm-hmm. So I have one where I put my shoulders up behind my back, and I have one where I pull them up over my head, and I do that very regularly in my workouts. They're part of my workouts to try and try and make progress. But thankfully, I will say my shoulders were injured. I've had injured shoulders before, and right now they're not injured, which is, knock on wood, we'll take it. So need some more warm up. I don't go as heavy as I used to on some of these dynamic type lifts. So that's probably where you'd go, oh, you're weak now. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're getting old. But I'll kick your ass, old self. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where, and I go, and here's another thing is like, I go through, as I've explained many times, I go through various cycles of working out where, at some point I'm on the squat train. Then I kind of get, kind of reach the, I'm not taking it to the peak, because the peak removes other aspects of fitness, and it starts increasing risk with very little benefit. I heard John Danaher talking the other day, and he's like, I can't tell the difference between someone that can bench 300 pounds on the mat and someone can bench 400 pounds on the mat. Yeah. Now, in the world of weightlifting, the difference between 300 and 400 is huge.
They're different people. Yeah.
They're different people. I'll tell you the same thing. I mean, very different people that have different, like you can look at one dude and be like, this guy can probably bench 185. Yeah. And this other guy can probably bench 350. Yeah. And yet the person with the 185 can kick your ass. So, and feel strong. Yeah. So I go through like various cycles of fitness where I'm, doing this, or I'm doing that, I'm chasing this, I'm chasing that. And usually in the summertime is when I kind of start chasing the endurance type stuff, because I'm getting ready to hunt in the mountains and you'd have good endurance. So if they hit me with this question and it was like late August, early September, I'd probably be like, all right, let's go. Although the swimming, again, The swimming, you got to go rebuild some of those muscles.
Yeah.
I have you have some, you swim so much in the SEAL teams that I would have some muscle memory, that would go, I could get it back faster than taking someone that never had 20 years in the games. But yeah, that's where I'm at.
So the running, you think pretty solid?
Yeah.
Give you a little bit to
give me some time.
Get back on the horse a little bit.
Time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I run regularly.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between running and actually, I do jogging and I sprint, which is a good combo, good to go. But if you're going to start doing like a 3-mile run, which is what the PST was in the SEAL times, that's like a specific, all right, cool, got to get in shape for that.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, fully.
Be all good. And that's to meet my old times.
Yeah.
So.
I wonder, I don't know. Depends on the era. And obviously I didn't have any kind of PST scenario going. But if I remember football numbers, those are way different. That's not real life numbers, 40 time. Like who's going to run a 40 outside of sports, Yeah.
But that's actually very recommended.
Just sprinting in general.
Sprinting in general, dude.
Big time.
Sprint.
But sprinting
There's some weird, speed. You heard that thing that most people over the age of, most people never sprint again after the age of like 24 or something like that.
That makes sense to me completely.
Which is horrible for human beings to not sprint anymore.
Well, there's a lot of things that are that could be. Then again, that's a whole philosophical thing, there's a lot of things that we don't do anymore, which could be looked at as like, oh man, that's too bad. But it's kind of like, well, it's not as useful now.
Like what?
Sprinting is not as useful now.
Okay, but give me one more example. And when you say sprinting is not as useful because you're not playing football, or basketball or whatever.
Well, you know how or you know how they say, okay, we're less physical nowadays, right? Because of technology or whatever. Yeah. But it's kind of it's a two-way street where it's like, because technology doesn't require us to be as physical anymore. Okay. Now I think that's bad too. But at the end of the day, it's only in regards to health. But as far as like sprinting, if you just consider this approach, I'm not saying it's good, bad, not in between. I'm not making a judgment on it. I am saying if you look at it like this, where it's like, isn't that bad that people don't sprint after the age of, we'll say 24? It's like, well, good or bad, I guess. If you don't need to sprint, does that impact your health?
Yes.
I guess, and then in what way you have to think? Well, maybe, when you do have to sprint away from the, coyote chasing you, you can hurt yourself.
No, but sprinting is really good for your health in a bunch of different ways as well.
Yeah, you'd have to consider in what specific ways. I'm not saying that it is or not. I'm just saying, okay, in what ways? And then I'm saying, okay, so if I don't sprint, am I more at risk for what? So I understand, hurting yourself. You've got to run away from something. Yeah, but I don't know is it reasonable to say, and I don't know the answer to this, so bear with me, but will you say, okay, does lack of sprinting contribute to all-cause mortality?
100%.
You'd say
you said I'm not going to go up. I'm saying like
it does.
We can go look at the facts.
Does it contribute to heart disease risk?
I bet.
I don't know, bro. Well, and then again, I don't know. I truly
I'm telling you,
know.
I'm saying yes.
So you think I'm kind of trying to justify it since I don't really sprint? I'm trying to like make up for it.
Oh, you don't sprint? I thought you sprinted in your Metcon sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes, but it's not part of the routine.
Okay.
And I do hills. Yeah, hill sprints. Hell yeah.
Okay, well then you're sprinting, bro. What are you talking about? I'm not sprinting. Bro.
I will say this. I have not sprinted probably for like 4 months. Okay, 4 months.
That's like the age. We said 24. Now you're sprinting at how old are you?
47.
46 in 5 months you've sprinted. That's still pretty good.
I'm rarely talking about myself unless I say myself. I'm saying in general. But hey, cool, man. I dig it. My numbers would be pretty close to, aside from a few things. The running stuff, I'm out. I'm out of that compared to how my running numbers.
Well, that's why for you were training like you said, a 40.
Yeah.
Right. That's a very specific thing, and you were doing it very regularly, focused on that thing. Yep. That is a little excerpt of what we are doing on the Jocko Underground podcast. So if you want to continue to listen, go to jockounderground.com and subscribe. And we're doing this to mitigate our reliance on external platforms so we are not subject to their control. And we're doing it so we can give you more control, more interaction, more direct connections, better communications with us, strengthen this legion of troopers that are in the game with us. So thank you. It's JockoUnderground.com. It costs $8.18 a month. And if you can't afford to support us, we can still support you. Just email assistance@JockoUnderground.com and we'll get you taken care of. Until then, we will see you mobilized underground.